Hey there, missing billionaires. I'm the Comics Kid 2099 here to discuss an episode of Superman the Animated Series titled Nighttime. If you haven't seen the episode, go watch it before I spoil stuff in the next few seconds. Or don't if you don't mind spoilers. Superman finds out that Batman is missing and teams up with Robin to find out what happened. After some tomfoolery with Superman pretending to be Batman, they discover that Brainiac used nanites to control Bruce Wayne to authorize the construction of a rocket that will take Brainiac off of Earth. Superman hands out a whooping and Bruce is free of Brainiac's control. Cue credits. So this episode doesn't really get talked about as often as World's Finest, our first interaction between these two in the DCAU, and I think that's a shame because this is really a fun episode. While I did have some problems with the World's Finest episode the last time I watched it, this episode doesn't share those same problems that episode had, but it does have its own problems. Chief among them is that there's not much actual plot here. We don't even get to Superman investigating Bruce Wayne's disappearance until about halfway into the episode. The rest of the episode, as fun and enjoyable as it is mostly just fluffy homage to the Silver Age of comics when Superman and Batman would swap places to fool Lois Lane. It's cute, but it doesn't really add anything to the Brainiac kidnapping plot. It would have been better if Brainiac had secretly hired Bane and Riddler to do some villainous thing to distract Batman and his allies while he constructed a rocket in the middle of Gotham City. Sure, we have a reason why Superman and Robin go up against these two, because they think that Mad Hatter is responsible for the nanites, but since we find out he isn't responsible for the nanites, it basically puts the first half of the episode aside as a completely unconnected adventure. I do have a nitpick that isn't so much a problem with this episode, but more of a concern with Justice League Unlimited. So spoilers for the whole Cadmus arc in JLU. So near the end of that arc, we see that Brainiac has embedded himself in Lex Luthor and has been inside his body for years, slowly building himself back up and controlling Luthor. Now, if Brainiac was able to eventually take over Luthor so thoroughly that even those closest to him couldn't notice that anything was different, why then is Brainiac so bad at controlling Bruce here? You might say that at the time this episode was being made, they had no clue that they were going to have the Brainiac Luthor thing in JLU. And that's true, they were still very much playing it by ear even at the very beginning of JLU, so they definitely didn't know what they were doing in that show way back when this episode came out. So they can't be expected to have this episode fit perfectly with the continuity of that episode. The reason Luthor didn't act like a weird robot in JLU is because they wanted it to be a plot twist, and by then, they weren't thinking about how this would impact a Superman episode from 1998. But ignoring all of that, Brainiac's plans still don't make a whole lot of sense here. Sure, Brainiac doesn't know that Bruce is Batman, although if he has nanites, I see no reason why they couldn't infiltrate Bruce's cell phone and trace a call to the Batcave and figure that out pretty easily, but whatever. So Brainiac doesn't know that Bruce is actually Batman, and therefore doesn't know that his plan will kickstart the disappearance of Batman, which attracts the attention of Superman. Okay, that's fine. But then, as Superman said, he tells home that he's at work and tells work that he's at vacation. That's really sloppy for a 12th level intellect, or however smart Brainiac actually is in the DC animated universe. Even if Brainiac didn't know that Superman would come snooping, what's to stop Tim from asking Lucius where Bruce is? That would have led to Bruce being discovered even if it wasn't by Superman. Although it's really weird that Tim never did bother asking Lucius about the specifics of Bruce's work thing. We see that when Superman and Tim discovered Brainiac, he's almost done with his evil plan, so Tim never did do any investigating at all. Sure, Nightwing and Batgirl think Ra's al Ghul is somehow involved with the disappearance, but how would he fake Bruce telling Tim that he has a work thing? Leave no stone unturned, right? Seems like asking Lucius would have gotten you to this point much quicker, but oh well. I really do enjoy this episode though. The little moments like Superman doing detective work in his own way, or Robin trying to teach Superman how to be Batman, those are all kinds of fun, but as an episode, this one doesn't quite cut the mustard. It's not bad, but there's just enough weird plot problems that prevent it from being truly great. So those are my thoughts. Hope you guys liked this episode and my review. If you did, you can watch and listen to other videos I do on this channel from time to time. And next weekend, I'll have another review of Superman the Animated Series up for you. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.